Well, vulnerable populations are at great risk as this outbreak spreads. The Reverend Al Sharpton knows that. He is the president of the National Action Network and, of course, the host of Politics Nation right here on MSNBC. This week, he made a public plea to the White House on Twitter on behalf of the homeless and the incarcerated in this country. President Trump saw that tweet, evidently, and called the Rev to talk about it. Thank you very much for being here. You have a long-standing relationship with the President of the United States. Let me ask you sort of what he said to you in the course of that conversation. You're among those who are saying, look, huge prison population here. If this gets into a prison, it could be a really dire situation. And yes, as there are all these stay-at-home orders, there are folks who don't have homes to go to.
Well, what I said was when you look at the fact that you have homeless people and you have people incarcerated, that must also be part of the equation of testing. Now, for example, in New York, you have 1 million masks coming into New York. We have got to be sensitive to the fact that these populations must be serviced and tested as well. One, from a humanitarian point of view, and secondly, because they can, in fact, be ones that are conduits to keep the virus in terms of spreading. How can you tell a homeless person to stay home when they don't have a home, many of them not in shelters? How can you tell someone in jail to have social distancing when they're in a 6x12 cell? And I thought that this must be part of the equation as we deal with this whole question of testing and, of course, of trying to restore people's health. And I must say the president and I have had a very contentious relationship over the years. I called the White House, and to my surprise, he called me back, and he heard me out. He said, I will consider it. He didn't promise anything. He said, but it is a point that needed to be raised, and I'm glad you brought it to me. And we ended it on the conversation saying it should be on the table. He will look into it with no commitment. And I'm raising it to the governor. We're doing a conference called Civil Rights Leaders, Mark Moriallo, the Urban League, Derek Johnson, and AACP, Melanie Campbell of the Black Women's Roundtable. All of us have been convening. We're talking to Chuck Schumer today. We've talked to Nancy Pelosi's office. This must be above partisan politics. This must be something that we deal with, the morality of the issue, by people in underserved communities and vulnerable communities like the homeless and those that are incarcerated.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.